Do you feel a responsibility not just to win your fights, but also to entertain?
Absolutely. Any fighter in general would think their main objective is to make the audience go home and let them know they had witnessed something that was incredibly special.
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
On today's video, we look back at the night a prime-ready Iron Mike took on the son of a heavyweight boxing legend.
With my pop in my corner, I don't see any way that I can lose.
Something about this occasion made Tyson extremely enraged, exasperated, and eager to close the show as quickly as possible. Let's take a look. By the fall of '86, the Tyson hype train was back to full throttle after his impeccable one-round annihilation job over fellow contender Reggie Gross.
That it's very difficult with a kid who throws hydrogen bombs to get him experience.
To this point, Team Tyson was still matching their prodigy relatively lightly, despite every boxing fan, including Mike himself, convinced he had the tools to mix it up with the current champions in the heavyweight division.
I'm starting to think that you're unstoppable. Do you feel that you're the best heavyweight in the world, that you can step in with anybody right now?
I feel I am the best fighter in the world right now.
Watching a fighter as brilliant as Mike Tyson being steered away from a title shot was frustrating for the boxing community. Yet, in retrospect, his managers, Jim Jacobs and Bill Cayton, were not only aiding Mike in building an impressive unbeaten record, they were, more importantly, ensuring the development of a raw young talent that, once he secured his title shot, was the complete finished article.
I'm the leader. I look everything over carefully, and then I send him in to do the job.
The former Hall of Fame legendary heavyweight champion Joe Frazier, who famously beat the previously unbeaten Muhammad Ali in 1971's Fight of the Century, took an entirely against-the-grain approach as to how a fighter should be developed during his managerial years post-retirement.
I'm not in charge, you know. If they say fight King Kong, I'm ready. All I have to do is get my body in condition and my mind and spirit, and I'm ready.
Smokin' Joe had the attitude, if you're going to be a journeyman boxer, there's no point in beating around the bush. As the fighters he trained, such as James Shuler, Burt Cooper, and son Marvis, quickly found out once they were under his tutelage.
If I couldn't train these boys, or I couldn't live with these boys, I'd be the first guy to get the hell out of the way.
Marvis embraced his father's philosophy, where after a very brief amateur career, he began fighting legitimate top contenders inside his first 10 fights as a pro.
Against Sowski as he backs him into the ropes above us. Two lefts and a right hand, all by Marvis Frazier, all scoring.
Marvis beat Steve Zuski, James Broad, and Joe Buckner in his first few fights. In doing so, he never looked like a world beater. More so, a man determined to at least fill a sliver of his father's boots. Joe pushed his son to the complete deep end in 1983, having Marvis face off with the #1 heavyweight in the world, Larry Holmes, who at the time had a record of 44-0. As many experts predicted, the fight was a complete mismatch, and Larry made sure every spectator at ringside, including Marvis's father, knew it. Joe never lost faith in his son, though, pushing him even harder in the direct aftermath, where Marvis regained momentum with impressive wins over Quick Tillis and Bone Crusher Smith. Whether the Fraziers genuinely felt they were ready for Tyson or not, Marvis's ranking among the sanctioning bodies put him in the direct firing line of the most devastating contender in world boxing.
Entering the ring, favorite dreams and lives in Catskill, New York. Mike Tyson entering as the Warrior.
Tyson met Frazier at the Civic Center in Glens Falls, New York in July 1986. Tyson paced up and down the ring during the introductions, angry and eager to one-up what Holmes did a couple of years prior. He later admitted that he was scared, but wanted to project his fear onto Marvis, who, by the looks of things, had the exact same idea.
3 judges, the referee does not score, scoring on the round system, supplemental 4-point scoring system if the rounds wind up even, and the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Tyson comes out slugging. Joe Cortez moves in to have a look, and he's going to stop the fight.
Frazier became Tyson's fastest ever victim, out on his feet, absorbing devastating power punches that left him slumped in the corner inside 30 seconds.
Marvis is badly hurt at this point. Uppercut again, and now Marvis is out of key. Everything after this is just incidental.
It took a while for Tyson to calm down, pumped up after his, on paper, best win to date. But once he did, he sent a chilling message to the current champions.
And I came out and I was confident. I knew the fight. I felt the deep moment I was going to stop him in the first round.
In your mind, if your managers Jim Jacobs and Bill Cate and your trainer Kevin Rooney came to you and said, Mike, we think you're ready for a title shot tomorrow, would you agree with them at this point?
Most definitely. Anytime if my manager and my trainer feel that I'm confident and they're willing to put me in a title and they're sure I can beat the champion, I'm sure I can beat them also.
Of the three champions, who would you like to fight and why?
Anybody my trainer put me in with, because I'm confident I can beat any fighter in the world.
With only 21 fights to his name, Marvis Frazier hung up the gloves for good, proud of what he achieved in such a short amount of time. I personally never blame Joe for Marvis's career trajectory. On paper, it looks naive, but the truth is he had unconditional love for his son, and I think both were just living a bit of a delusion regarding his potential. Marvis has kept a low profile since retirement, but in this interview from a few years ago, he admits that trying to follow in his father's footsteps was always going to be a near impossible task.
I feel to stand in the shadow of Joe Frazier, and to me, I always thought I was standing in the light because it's a great legacy. You know, my father could have been, a drug dealer. He could have been in prison. He could be the bum on the streets on Skid Row. My dad is smoking Joe Frazier.
Is it possible to help keep our online platform safe from cyber threats?
It is.